Jason, I don't want to self-aggrandize or anything like that. I know this is something that I've talked about quite a bit in therapy, so I know I need you to keep me in check here.
Sure.
Because I don't really check the analytics. I don't even know how this fucking thing gets uploaded.
Yeah.
Uh, we have at this point, we're on episode 3 now, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of listeners. You would say probably, right?
Uh, yeah. I think. Yeah. I think if we rounded it off, that's where we'd be.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't. Yeah, because we have a lot of clout, is what I'm saying, and maybe that's why.
Right.
Last week,
Right.
we had our first ever, our inaugural Cryptid Corner, beloved segment by our throngs of listeners.
Right. Couldn't get enough. Couldn't get enough.
And then the very day after it gets uploaded, actually, the New York Times uploads an article, Bigfoot is back, Bigfoot never left, talking about the very Sasquatch sighting that we discussed. Ripping us
you're
off.
absolutely right. Yeah, no, I saw that as well. Yeah, no, I personally, I think you and I should take credit for that.
I think we should sue the bastards.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we should sue them, but I think that we're, I guess what I'm saying is that we're the driver of this Bigfoot renaissance that we're living in.
We're kind of trendsetters in a way.
Exactly.
I also talked about Sasquatch breeding season, and I think this is the thing that I do want to say to the New York Times and to our throngs of followers, that they did fail in their journalistic integrity. We've stressed multiple times Sasquatch is the objective term, the scientific term, the respectful term. So for them to come at us with, oh, it's Bigfoot, I think is a bit problematic, and maybe that's not something that I'm going to tolerate. Anyway, if you're just joining us, welcome to Underworld News Tonight. I'm Andrew Michaels. I'm here with my co-host, perhaps best known for his role in the 2008 cult classic Who's Nailin' Palin. Jason Strong is here.
Hello, Andrew. A pleasure as always.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How are things with you? You mentioned you were cold. Is it cold there in Illinois?
It's a bit chilly. It's getting a bit chilly. It's in the 50s. I've got the room that I record in. It doesn't get a lot of sound pollution, but it's because it also doesn't seem to get a lot of heat pollution from my heater. So it's often cold in here. And today it was just a bit chilly, but we're braving on, podcast hosts. We put our minds, bodies, and spirits on the line. And this is no exception. And of course,
our house is actively on fire and I'm still here.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course it's good. That's good content.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's important we do what we do.
Yeah, and anyway, if you guys do want to donate to help Jason Strong's family after he cooks alive today, email me at underworldnewstonight@gmail.com. I will only pocket most of it.
Yeah, I think about 75 to 80% seems fair. Mostly my survivors are going to be cats.
All right, yeah, so they'll be totally fine. Now I'm going to get to our first story of the day, and I'm going to tell you that I very quickly lost sympathy with the person who was perceived as at fault here. It's on Mercury News, but it's coming through CNN's wire service. Flight canceled because of defecation incident. Now, I'm coming in with sympathy because how often do you fly, would you say?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, me, as opposed to the other people you're talking
to.
3 times a year, maybe. I'm not a big flyer, but...
You take a shit in the airplane bathroom?
I cannot ever recall taking a shit on an airplane.
For real? Never? 3 times a year? How long have you been at the 3 times a year rate?
Man, 25 years?
25 years. That's 75 flights, and you've never taken a shit on one.
Yeah, not that I recall. No.
That's fucking insane. Because when I get up there, I think it's something with the air pressure or something that it does something in your gut, right? And I get into that airplane bathroom, and it's like a fucking old-fashioned blunderbuss in there. Just, it's just straight out scattershot. So I was automatically sympathetic with this person because I make it to the toilet, but you could see a scenario where if there is anything else going awry, the air pressure is the last thing it takes. But the thing is that the plane had not even taken off yet. Now, this was a flight. Yeah, this was a flight from the Canary Islands to London. I think the Canary Islands is a well-known tax dodge place, by the way, but I might just be making that up. So let me know if I am.
I feel like that's right. Yeah.
Who knows?
I think that sounds right.
Who knows? We're highly influential, so we could kind of say whatever we want. So this was
right.
an easy
if it wasn't a tax dodge before, it certainly will be now.
With all the money we're raking in, we need some more. This was an EasyJet flight on Sunday night, and it was supposed to be from the island of Tenerife, presumably in the Canary Islands, or maybe Tenerife, to London's Gatwick Airport, which I've never heard of. I've only heard of Heathrow. And it had already been delayed by several hours. Now, what one passenger said was that they had already been turned away. Their plane had been switched out for a smaller one, so some customers have been turned away from there. That's happened to me before. It's fucking awful. And then those who made it on board,
that has happened to me. Yeah,
it's a fucking nightmare. They need to get these fucking plane sizes figured out, by the way. But that's another story for another day. That's for episode like 938 when we run out of things to talk about. And it's like the planes are too small.
Talk about commercial aircraft.
Yeah. And the food's not good.
Man, hot take. Wow.
Let's get into it.
Call this a quesadilla.
All right. So anyway, for those who did make it on board, they'd already waited for 2 hours. They had waited for 2 hours, and they had to wait for another hour because bags were being offloaded because it was over late. So just a fucking mess.
Right.
And then at some point, somebody goes in. The pilot gives the all clear, says it's going to be about 20 minutes. And the passenger who's giving this interview, Aran Gadoo, says, and that's when the incident happened. Now, according to Iran, word spread through the cabin that someone had defecated on the bathroom floor, and the stench soon followed. No one was happy about the situation, said Gadoo, which, I fucking bet. And he said that most people thought it was an accident, but some people did think that it was somebody trying to do this out of anger, according to Kitty Streak. Really great last names for this, by the way. We've got Gadoo and we've got Streak for this.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That occurred to me as well. Yes.
But according to Kitty Streak, we obviously can't prove whether the person had an accident or if they had done this out of anger for the delayed flight. But it was hard not to be angry either way, as nobody wants to be stranded in another country. I don't think this was out of anger. Because I think when someone shits on a floor out of anger, I do think they make it pretty clear.
Really? How do you figure that?
I don't think that somebody quietly walks into the airplane bathroom, shits on the floor out of anger, and quietly leaves and gets back in their seat. I think by the time you are defecating on a floor, you are not in Machiavellian headspace.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like they'd be coming out of the bathroom.
They're going into the bathroom like, I will show you.
Right.
Take that, mother.
Right.
I have a podcast now.
When did this happen? I'm sorry.
This was Sunday night.
And
I should say Sunday Sunday the 15th, because I know this goes up on Monday the 23rd. So this was Sunday. We record on a Friday. So
gotcha. And where were you?
Where was I?
Yeah,
I was
from the Canary Islands.
I was dealing with a tax situation.
Oh, and then
after that, taking a tour of some Indian restaurants trying vindaloos somewhere.
And the Canary Islands "fuck yeah" T-shirt you're wearing just happens to. It's just coincidence, or
I appreciate the entire world. I have countries that say Luxembourg, fuck yeah. Countries that say United Arab Emirates, fuck yeah. Just pretty much everywhere.
I think you mean T-shirts, not countries. But
I have T-shirts and countries. I've got them all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I really underestimated the...
Yeah. So anyway, Yeah, so eventually they did have to cancel the flight, but they delayed it. They apparently, here's the weird thing. The passengers were made to wait while they cleaned it up before canceling the flight. But it's over. Just let them off.
Oh, so they were like sitting on the plane while people were cleaning up.
Yeah, people were sent on the plane to clean it up. And obviously the plane was in an unsanitary state, so they had to get external cleaners out from the airport to clean it. According to Gadoo, the passengers remained in their seats during the cleaning, and only afterward did the captain inform them they would have to disembark. That makes no sense to me.
No.
Maybe they're doubling as I don't know how British TSA works. Maybe this is some sort of sting operation. But the weird thing is that there have been a number of incidents this year. So September, Delta Airlines flight from Atlanta to Barcelona actually has to turn around after a passenger has diarrhea. And earlier in the month, Air Canada has to apologize because two passengers had to sit in seats that hadn't been cleaned properly after being covered in vomit during an earlier flight. So there's something about, people need to just keep the stomach stuff inside. I think the outside stuff should stay outside. The inside stuff should stay inside during a flight.
Sure. I would go so far as to say that's probably good advice for about any activity you're engaged in, that inside should stay inside and outside outside. Yeah, no, that's actually kind of horrifying. Yeah, I don't know. I typically, never having pooped on an airplane.
I still
also
believe
that's because I get there like 4 hours early, and I spend 3.5 hours of that time sitting in the airport men's room.
You can't just front load. I just don't feel like you can front load it. You can't always time it that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I
often, if it's a morning flight, I've just had my coffee.
No, hand to God, I honestly do not remember a time I pooped on an airplane. I've definitely peed on an airplane.
Yeah, everyone's peed on an airplane.
Yeah, and they weren't thrilled about that because that was in the aisle.
Gerard Depardieu is here.
Yeah, no, this is
you know what the other weird thing is, though?
Sorry?
You know what the other weird thing is we're talking about Canary Islands, Taxage Island, but this is an EasyJet flight, which I think is like British Spirit Airlines, I think. I know, according to Spotify analytics, we do have listeners in the UK, so they can tell me. But I think EasyJet is like British Spirit Airlines.
All right.
So, I guess maybe that's how they got rich, #grindset, but you never know. Anyway, I know we're about to get into some pretty spooky stories for the month of October, and I just feel like our audience, they're not necessarily coming to us in the right headspace. I know, you've seen the same you've seen the same feedback that we have. You've made me laugh, you've made me cry, you've made me get my first erection in over 30 years, that sort of a thing. But a lot of people have said that, we're not necessarily giving them the fear. So, we're recording this Friday afternoon. This goes up Monday morning around 6 a.m. People are on their way to work. Wait until you get to a red light. Do it safe. Reach into that back seat. Grab your driving bong. Our UK listeners, I know that's not legal there, which is why you will never catch a whiff of marijuana in the streets of London. Grab a nice, proper English cup of ayahuasca tea. Take a sip. Take an Adderall. Wait an hour for it to kick in. Pause the podcast. We will wait. All right, Jason, get us started. Now they're in the right headspace.
All right. So our second story tonight comes to us thanks to Click Orlando.
Right.
I assume
only if he consents.
Right.
I can't get banned from the Pirates of the Caribbean set again.
Right. No, this is coming to us out of Volusia County, Florida. And it goes thus. So there is in Volusia County, Florida, there's the Lake Helen Cemetery.
Okay.
and it features a brick-laid seat known as the Devil's Chair.
He needs his back support.
Oh, absolutely. And looking at photos of this, which we'll post on our Facebook and Instagram accounts, it would definitely provide back support, if nothing else, because it's literally a chair made out of bricks.
Nice and comfy.
Anyway, so the cemetery here with the Devil's Chair is a hotspot for supernatural activity.
Mm-hmm.
The chair allows you to whoever sits in it to communicate with the devil.
What do you want?
There have been paranormal investigators there who report seeing the glowing the energy balls and photographs. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, generally,
like
for those that aren't familiar, and we don't need to get too into it, but essentially all of reality, there are multiple dimensions at play here, folks. And when you see the reason why aliens show up as glowing orbs, angels, all this other stuff, some people say it's you're seeing things from other planes of reality, and your brain doesn't know how to interpret it. So that's just kind of like, it's like Missing No, if you're familiar with the Pokemon creepypasta.
I am not.
Or it's a Pokemon glitch, not a Pokemon. It's a weird Pokemon. Yeah, we don't need to get into it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so this chair, it's been around since the early 1900s when the graveyard has been established.
When my back pain started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can you think of anything in the early 1900s maybe that the devil may have hurt himself on? Like, was he moving?
Honestly, I think that the invention of the automobile, I walked to work every day. I was spry. I was fit. And once I started taking that Model T, I'll tell you, I let myself go. Cracker Jacks came out around the same time. So you're getting the gut, but you're not getting the exercise.
No, that totally makes sense. And thank you, Satan, for popping in here for throw your 2 cents in. So aside from all that,
I possess Andrew for punishment for jerking off when he was 12 sometimes.
Man, I will be in a lot of trouble. I feel like Satan has backlog in possessing me then.
We'll get to it. It's always been my dream to guest on a pod, though.
Of course, yeah. No, mine too. Yeah, I'm really living it up here. But what also happens at the Devil's Chair, again, very old cemetery, 1900s, spooky stuff, noises, paranormal, people seeing the glowing orbs. There have been reports of people leaving a beer on the chair for some reason, and it showing up empty the next day. Now, I don't know what would lead one to decide to have a beer party in a cemetery.
It is
at least often enough that you can see the pattern that, like, oh, when I leave my beer on this chair, it's gone the next day.
It is the first part of my diabolical plan. First they come, they party, they leave their beers, and I partake with them. I say, it's a scary world out there. I'd rather you do it here, kids. And
yeah. Kind of a harm reduction model. Yeah, no, I appreciate
step 2, I whisper to them, you're probably good to drive.
Oh, Satan. That sounds just like you. Now, adding to the story is the fact that cemetery in Florida is also near the Casadaga spiritualist camp, which has existed since the late 1800s as a place where mediums and people that have seen visions, been contacted via Ouija board, where they go to find others like themselves, people with this like particular sensitivity. And in fact, at that graveyard, there are several of the spiritualist camp former residents are interred there. So maybe some connection between.
All I could say to that is they don't like me very much at that spiritualist center.
Oh, I imagine not.
Because we got along well at one point, but things took a sour turn because I don't want to go into it.
No, that's not surprising because I am looking at their website, and
Oh, right. I'll tell you how it started. If you twist my arm, I'll tell you how it started.
Yeah, satanic influence isn't listed as one of their values or practices. I think they're probably a pretty chill group. It sounds.
Well, it's a cancel culture thing because they
really?
used to like me. Then one day they're at the funeral. They're by my chair. I saw a fat medium, so I thought it'd be funny to say, "Hey, buddy, I should call you a large," and they didn't like that.
Mm-hmm. No, I would imagine not. And again, it's interesting that the spiritualists are so near the supposedly cursed, devil-infused cemetery. I don't want to malign the spiritualists because I frankly am pretty ignorant about their beliefs and practices, and that's
religious diversity does make the world go round, Jason.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. But I did notice the connection between people that maybe feel a connection to things beyond this realm and things that are happening in the cemetery. And to clarify that stance, I will go back to the Click Orlando article where one of the Reverend Lewis Gates, with the Casadaga spiritualist camp, has confessed to stealing the beer that people leave out on the chair. Which, no, go ahead.
Are they? I'm not much of a beer drinker personally. A lot of people don't know this, but I did convert to Mormonism in the late 2000s, so I don't really partake anymore. Are these open beers or are they sealed?
Well, according to this article, they were sealed because, again, Reverend Lewis Gates says that they would pop the beer, it would make noise, people would turn around, and then they'd hide.
Aha!
Okay, that would make sense, right? Except that the beer drinking has happened since the early 1900s. So is the Reverend Lewis Gates 120 years old? Like, the math doesn't add up on this.
If I were to tell you the secrets, the truth is that I used to before my conversion to Mormonism. That's why I've made many substantial donations at Brigham Young over the years. I used to be quite the drinker, and I made the deal with an aspiring brewer that I would give him fame, fortune, and success for a beer every night at my favorite chair where I could watch the game, which at the time was just beating a sock full of little people in a basket with a rake. But sports used to be a lot better, but that's besides the point. And that's how Paps got their blue ribbon.
Oh, wow. No, I had no idea. No, I appreciate the insight into the Paps thing, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just not convinced by the someone from the spiritualist camp confessing to drinking beer when this has been going on for over 100 years, right? And it also doesn't explain the glowing orbs, you know, the other people like speaking with the devil when they sit in the chair. Like, I don't know. It feels like
I'm telling them to get the fuck out of my chair. I am trying to watch The Masked Singer.
Oh, yeah? Is that that's something you enjoy, The Masked Singer?
Yes, they had Jim Davis, creator of Garfield, on the other day doing My Humps by the Black Eyed Peas. I gotta tell you, he's actually very talented.
Oh, wow. I personally am surprised to hear that Jim Davis is still alive.
Oh, I make sure of that.
Yeah, but anyway, no, it's a spooky chair. You can talk to the devil. There's no details on what the devil might say. I don't know if people are asking for investment advice or, you know, relationship advice, but that and glowy orbs and drinking beers. They're in Orlando. It seems weird that outside of Orlando is one of the devil's favorite places.
I love SeaWorld.
You know what? Actually, that tracks. That completely tracks. Yeah, I no, I get it now.
Man, my mouth just tastes like blood and bile for some reason. Speaking of which, there is an item that you could buy right now. This is coming from The Mirror, of course, our favorite source out from the UK. This is a haunted doll with a quote-unquote demonic voice and the power to suck energy. And that goes on sale for £75. Some people say the same thing about me, the demonic voice and sucking energy thing, not the on sale for £75, of course. I am much more easy to corrupt than that, but I will not comment. This unnamed doll is believed to have a male demon living inside of it and almost took control of a little girl in Texas. Spoke about killing her father and brother before a priest intervened. And if you know anything about horror stories, they always tell you at the beginning that Catholicism is just ontologically true. So this has to be accurate.
Right.
So this was so Kalani Smith and his pal Josh claimed they were attacked by this doll after a blood ritual was performed, recalling that it felt like they caught on fire. It's on display with a teddy bear at the East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida. So Florida is really your place to go right now, I think, for any of this stuff.
Yeah. No.
Something about Florida and just the proximity to death and insanity. I don't know why it is.
Yeah. No, it's definitely sounding like a hot spot for this kind of activity at the moment.
Yeah.
Sorry, you mentioned something about a blood ritual.
Yeah, it doesn't really elaborate what that is. It's two paranormal investigators, Kalani Smith and his pal Josh. I don't know what Josh's last name is. They did a blood ritual, which is not a thing you should rope your pal into. And he said it felt like they caught on fire. Which, it's a bit cold in my studio, so that actually sounds quite nice. So you can get it on eBay at £75, which is $91.52 as of when this article was posted a few days ago. So maybe a bit more or less now. If you understand the economy, let us know. I will not read it.
How much is that? Sorry, you said what? £97?
It's £75, which is $91.52.
Gotcha. Okay.
The pound is more valuable than the dollar, unfortunately. I don't know why that is, but it seems to always be the case.
Well, it's bigger, right?
That's true. Yeah, it's because you have to carry the really heavy money.
Like it's a larger currency, so
That's
obviously it must be worth more.
that's actually why like Britain you still have this idea of the industrial fat cat, is it is the physically heaviest guy is the richest. It's just how it goes.
Right.
So they were claiming it was possessed by a male demon. They said that it arrived from Texas last year. It was delivered by a priest who said that somebody needed to take ownership of the doll and break the curse that was attached to. And then it says his daughter, but I feel like it couldn't be the priest's daughter because I don't think they're allowed to have those.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I guess things happen. No, it says the priest's daughter though.
Oh, all right. Well,
maybe this is I didn't know. I mean, maybe it's maybe it's some type of special priest.
Yeah. No, I have no idea. Peek behind the curtain. I'm a lapsed Catholic, but it's been decades, so who knows what they're doing now?
Man, who knows? You know, I know that I've historically understood. You know, if there's one thing I understand about the Catholic Church is that priests have historically been the real beacon of sexual morality. So, you know, I'd be surprised, but
and forward thinking. Yeah, very forward thinking.
Well, yeah, I mean that's why you deliver a possessed doll to a guy in Florida who could sell it on eBay. Right. So, according to the seller, the priest's daughter bought the doll from a yard sale, but within months she started having extreme hysterical episodes and spoke with different language. Now, months is a long time for a little kid,
right? To put up with it.
Like a lot can happen in a little kid's, because it said within months this started. But a lot has happened. Like, that's a huge percentage of that kid's life. So you have to figure, like, you know, any number of things could have happened.
Right.
That probably don't have much to do with the doll. The girl spoke about killing her father and younger brother and taking them to hell with her. He also claimed that bruises appeared on the little girl's skin and her eyes grew dark.
Yeah.
He attempted an exorcism, and this did not work. And then a medium visited and said that the daughter took ownership of something that had been cursed, and only when ownership is handed over can the curse be broken. At which point the seller took the doll and also began to notice flies and slugs accumulating in rooms, which they just throw into the last paragraph. So I guess that's the other thing to keep in mind is free flies and slugs. If you get this doll. Also performs extraordinary manifestations, quote unquote. Speaks in a demonic male voice that they claim to have recorded, but they haven't posted it in the article or on the eBay listing. So, you know, it's weird to lie and say you have recorded it. You could just say, "Oh, it did it, but I didn't record it," which means it must be true, obviously. Now the seller finished with a warning for prospective buyers. This doll is not a toy. This demon likes to suck all the energy out of a room and will take power from your equipment and your immediate surroundings. So bad for a podcasting studio. We have always kept ourselves blessed and worn crosses when conducting investigations with this doll. Doubly bad for a Jewish guy's podcasting studios. Please prepare to do the same. Also advises daily saging and cleansing. So, you know, saging, cleansing, perineum sunning, whatever you got to do.
Yeah. I mean, I just do that shit as a matter of course. Daily, you gotta the daily saging and what'd you say, perineum cleansing? I definitely
I added the perineum cleansing.
Okay.
No, I want to be clear. The seller is not advising. Is your perineum your actual asshole, or is it the gooch?
I think it's it's the taint is your perineum.
All right. All right, yeah, it's not the taint.
Sorry, gooch? Is that
yeah, that's what I grew up. I grew up calling it the gooch, and then I first heard taint in college. I always heard gooch growing up.
Gotcha. No, both are good.
That's a story for another. I think gooch is better, but I think it's also kind of like it is a lot more gross than taint. I feel like
it is, and I feel like in grade school I had a friend whose nickname was Gooch.
Was he Italian? I feel like it's a common thing of like people of a certain generation. They're like, this is my friend Vinny the Gooch, and I'm like, why would you call someone Gooch?
Right. I mean, yeah, almost certainly. It was like a Catholic school. So,
but the good thing about the daily saging is, you know, you deal with the haunted doll, and after that, you can make some great fucking stuffing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, this story comes to us from
We're done with the spooks, by the way. Let the fucking ayahuasca wear off. If you realize you needed to leave your family, tell them to move on. Yeah, do what you got to do, because we're fucking serious now. All right, we're back to work. You have a job. You have responsibilities.
No, we're getting back to the physical realm, with some martial arts.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So this comes to us from ndtv.com, out of India. MMA trainer spars with kangaroo to save his dog in Australia.
Wow. All right, so I mean, I've got a lot of questions. Let's just get started, I guess.
Yeah. Dude, Mick Maloney, a mixed martial arts and Brazilian jiu-jitsu teacher, lives in Mildura, Australia.
I was gonna say, I think the medulla is the thing that you like hit to make yourself throw up.
The medulla oblongata.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was sunning himself on
perineum sunning. There we go.
Yeah. Sunning himself on the shore of a river with his dogs when he noticed one of the dogs disappeared. And when Mr. Maloney looked up, he did see a kangaroo that was looking at him. And apparently, the kangaroo was in the process of trying to drown his dog.
Why?
I don't know if that's...
Is that something they do?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. No, I don't really think of kangaroos as like aquatic creatures, but
I don't. That's like cold. Like I know like a kangaroo can absolutely fuck you up. I just didn't think that they would like kidnap you and drown you, like, you know, fucking Ted Bundy.
Yeah, no, I'm as surprised as you are to hear this. Yeah, I had no idea. I guess I thought of kangaroos as like land-dwelling mammals. And
well, you can drown, so I think the kangaroo was on land, right?
It sounds like it was sorry, let me...
The kangaroo was on land and like holding the dog down into the water, right? It wasn't like...
Yes, yeah. Yeah. Mr. Maloney described it as a headlock. The kangaroo had his dog in a headlock. Now here's where it gets exciting. So you can cue the action music. Mr. Maloney then entered the water, telling the
that wet man.
Yeah, he did take time to set up his phone to record the interaction.
Of course, you gotta.
Right. Yes.
You have the time during a drowning.
Yes. You know, my dog's in danger. Where can I put my iPhone to record this? But he is filmed entering the water, telling the kangaroo, "I'm gonna punch your fucking head in. Let my dog go."
They don't speak English.
Who? Kangaroos?
Yeah.
What?
Like the warning isn't gonna work.
Well, yeah. I guess
that was more for the camera.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. If he took the time to set up the camera, I think he's probably playing it up for the camera.
Maybe he said, "Let my dog go" to make it like clear when he does post the video that's why he's doing it. Because otherwise, it is just kind of a video of like him beating the shit out of a kangaroo.
Oh, right. Like I didn't even consider this.
Right, so, you kind of have to set up the stakes a little bit.
Right. Well, I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of like when the police are beating someone, saying like "stop resisting."
Is the dog in the video?
Like, is that this? Sorry.
Can you see the dog in the video?
I have not watched the video. Mostly because I'm not really interested in seeing a dog almost drown.
All right. Well, now, if you do want to watch it, NDTV. But conspiracy theory, if the dog is not in the video, almost, I could watch a dog almost drown. I can't watch a dog drown. I could watch a dog almost drown, I think. But I won't put it to the Instagram out of respect for our audience. I will redirect them to NDTV. I'm sure it's a perfectly safe website for your computer, like any Indian news website is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But
a lot of cool ads for stuff I've never heard of before. No, it does describe the videos, and the videos actually don't show. It sounds like Mr. Baloney actually fighting the kangaroo for whatever reason. Like, I think there's like splashes and noise, but it sounds like it doesn't ever show.
So there's just like, I mean, he also didn't do a good job filming it.
Yes.
He allegedly saved his dog, or he just like yelled, "Let my dog go," in front of a camera and then made a bunch of psh, psh noises.
Right. This could all be entirely a hoax. But he does say, Mr. Baloney, he described the kangaroo as jacked. He decided to get in there and take on this jacked creature.
They are jacked.
Muscles on this thing. I was like, he just got out of jail or something.
Of course. And when will we learn, by the way, that you send these, you only make a criminal out of these kangaroos that are going to be willing to do something like drown a dog when you put them through the prison system. Exactly. He's just stealing a fucking backpack at first, and next thing you know, here we are.
Right. Oh, you're referring to what? The movie Kangaroo Jack?
No, that's not any reference. Does Kangaroo Jack steal anything? I don't think Kangaroo Jack goes to jail, does he?
Well, I thought he stole a backpack.
Did he steal a backpack? I'm just referring to a thing that somebody could like go to jail over and get thrown into the prison system.
Right. Like with yeah.
I don't know what I don't remember anything about that movie. I know I saw it in theaters. I could not tell you at gunpoint what happens.
I didn't see it at all. And for some reason, I thought it was about like.
But you were in your early 30s when it came out.
Yeah.
I was 8, so like, I feel like I was more the target.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I don't know that that I appreciate the like it feels a little, I don't know. It like
if the kangaroo was
just,
I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
The kangaroo just got out of jail. Like, what do kangaroos usually go to jail or?
Well, I think he's saying it's jacked because it was working out in the prison yard.
No, I understand, but that's not like, I don't know if we're pet owners, you and I.
Yes.
If one of my cats was attacked by, say, a raccoon, I don't think I would refer to the raccoon as like having just come out of jail.
If it was a jacked raccoon, though, like if it was a visibly muscular, I mean, I think with a kangaroo, it's different because kangaroos are like visibly muscular in and of themselves. But if it was like a raccoon that was muscular to the point that you thought like that is a muscular raccoon, and you saved your cat didn't die.
No, and I have like grainy video footage of me rescuing.
Yeah, rescuing it, and not just making and noise.
Yeah, and battling the raccoon with my MMA skills.
Yeah. Would an MMA fighter ever lie on the internet?
Well, yeah, that's what makes it so confusing. Is that's
famously trustworthy group of people. You've really got to attend all of their development seminars, anything like that.
Right. Very sensitive. Open to trust.
You can trust anyone who gets hit in the head repeatedly for a living, is what I say.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. it sounds like we can be grateful that it sounds like everyone, man, Akita dog, and kangaroo survived the encounter.
Oh, he didn't kill the kangaroo?
No.
All right. Oh, I thought he beat a kangaroo to death. That has to be a much sadder story. We probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No. I think he just according to him, roughed up the kangaroo to the point that it let the dog go. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. Actually, here at the end of the story, it says that the kangaroo was actually shot to death by law enforcement.
Oh.
No, that's...
Oh, so then this is... Okay, so... I'm confused about the dog drowning, but okay. Well, I guess we'll never hear the kangaroo side of the story then. I just think it's wild for a kangaroo to just, I mean, if it's true, like to just grab a dog and try to drown it, like.
Right. No, there's definitely more to the story.
Yeah. Right? I don't know anything about kangaroo behaviors. We don't have those in New Jersey. Or Illinois.
Yeah. There certainly wasn't any where I grew up in Ohio. I've never seen a kangaroo in Colorado. But then again, I also have never seen a Sasquatch in Colorado.
That's true. So, well, and those are legit. I
don't
like even without the drowning things. I don't like kangaroos. The pouches gross me out.
Yeah, and no,
people think it's cute. I think it's fucking disgusting.
And what this story brought to mind for me is, and maybe like, tell me if I'm way off base here. I have like a very clear recollection that like people boxing kangaroos used to be a thing. Like,
I think now you're talking about the movie Kangaroo Jack.
No,
I think you are quite literally describing the plot. Like that is the only thing I can tell you happens in Kangaroo Jack. Is he definitely boxes and I think raps.
Oh yeah, I mean it was what, the mid '90s. He definitely rapped.
It was 2000. It was 2003.
I'm confident. What?
It was 2003. It's a 2003.
2003.
Yeah.
No, he probably rapped.
Rapped, but he did have to acknowledge 9/11.
Right. No, I do have very clear recollections of like, the old timey, like early 1900 film.
Was it for your fucking childhood as like a fucking chimney sweep in Victorian England? What are you talking about?
Right. No, Papa would give us sixpence and we...
Yeah, before Kaiser stole your innocence in the trenches of France.
Right. No. So I'm crazy. Like, this wasn't something that like you ever saw as like black and white pictures, footage of one of those old timey dudes with, the like super thin boxing gloves and the curled up oiled mustache.
I think this is the difference between growing up in a red state like you did and growing up in a blue state like I did, is I do think the education systems had different priorities a little bit.
Right. Yes. In Southern Ohio, they definitely wanted to communicate that we could barehandedly beat the shit out of
anyone you want. A kangaroo, your wife, whoever.
Right. No, I'll look into this actually, because now I'm curious. Because
maybe you can get me on the correction defensive next week.
Yeah, like I clearly remember, because we are a different age, and I grew up like 70s, early 80s, but they were doing it then. But I just remember seeing like I said, like kind of those old timey black and white. Yeah, I don't know. I'll look into it and report back next time.
Yeah, I'm just more confused as to like what Like they just didn't show. Maybe it's just an old timey footage they didn't show us.
Mm-hmm.
Could have also been
Yeah.
a guy in a kangaroo costume too. That's also. I feel like it was very easy to fool people with guys in costumes back then.
Oh no, absolutely. And no, I could totally be like misremembering, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Because yeah, all right. Well, please enlighten us next episode. Should I also give them a bit of a preview for next episode? Do you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
I
So
think yeah, I think it's
yes.
something to be proud of.
Yeah, so I guess number one, thanks everybody so much who's been listening. We have seen the number of listeners go up. We've seen some of
Yeah,
you liking the page, leaving comments on Spotify. We do appreciate it. Truly means the world to us. If you're still enjoying the
absolutely.
show and you have not followed, rated, shared it with your friends, you should definitely do that because that more people listen, the more the more incentive it is for us to keep doing this, which is super great. And next week we're going to be doing something a bit different for our spooktacular Halloween special. We have got a very special guest, Cole Johnson, who is a great comedian in the New England area. And we're all going to be talking about our state and local cryptids, whether it's of the state we live in now or the state we grew up in. I'm going to be getting into the Jersey Devil and maybe another one. And I know Jason and Cole are maybe going to have things to get into too. So,
Yeah. Yeah, lots planned. And yeah, and hear Andrew apologize to me for being wrong about kangaroo boxing.
Listen, if I'm wrong, I am going to pledge right now that I will, just to show you guys how seriously I take accuracy, I will have my co-host euthanized.
Yeah, no, I absolutely believe that.